Thank you. All right, well, why don't we get started? Thank you, everybody, for attending today's webinar. I'm pretty excited to have today's webinar. Really, it's the first event being hosted by the Tourism AI Network. So I'm Peter Pilarski. I'm the founder of the Tourism AI Network. I'll introduce myself a little more thoroughly, a little more detail in a couple slides. But really, the goal today is just really to introduce the network, give folks a bit of context in terms of what the network's all about. And then there will be some opportunities for people to ask questions at the very end. So today's agenda, really, as I mentioned, is really starting off with a bit of where the Tourism AI Network came from, a little bit about the genesis, review of the vision, mission, values, a little bit about our current partners and advisors that we've been working with to get things going. 5 key steps for AI adoption. And the reason I've included this here is because really the way we've structured the Tourism AI Network are really structured around these 5 key steps. So I'll explain that as we get going here throughout the different slides. And then we'll get into, again, the 5 key steps and some of the things that we're going to be doing through the network. So things like speaking, courses, webinars, and events. I'll explain the AI business assessment that we have created, and a little bit about AI roadmaps and some implementations that we're working with some of our partners in a pilot project phase right now, and then we'll open it up for questions. If you have any questions while we're going, please feel free to put them into the chat or into the Q&A, and if I don't notice them, hopefully one of our admins will help you out with that. So so a little bit about the Tourism AI Network, I guess Genesis is what I like to call it, where this whole thing came from. So I am president of a company called CIPR Communications with my wife, Christina, and our team. And we're a digital public relations agency, and we've also belonged to an organization called WSI. And so through the work we've been doing over the last several years, obviously, the conversation about artificial intelligence has been coming up quite frequently in the digital work that we do. And then I came across a book by a guy named Mustafa Solomon. So for those who don't know, Mustafa Solomon is a AI, I guess, influencer, or one of the main people in the AI space, moving the industry forward. And he wrote a book called The Coming Wave. So Mustafa Solomon is a co-founder of DeepMind, which was purchased by Google a few years back. And he's also one of the co-founders of Inflection AI. So for those who know about Pi AI, which happens to be Christina's favorite AI companion. So Mustafa Solomon is that's a little bit about his background, but he wrote this great book called The Coming Wave, which I recommend to a lot of people. It's a pretty heavy book, but it really talks about the fact that over the course of human history, there have been, depending on who you talk to, about 24 general purpose technologies that have impacted really humanity and have drastically altered societies through these technologies. And in his book, The Coming Wave, he talks about the fact that artificial intelligence is one of these general purpose technologies. And so, in the history of humanity, we've had about 24 of these technologies. In the past 100 or so years, we've had, arguably about 6 to 8 of these types of technologies. And we're really at the forefront of one of these technologies now coming into society and permeating every aspect of life in the form of artificial intelligence, and more specifically, generative artificial intelligence. Upon further reading, upon further research and study, I come across other very smart people in the tech field talking about things like Sundar Pichai, from head of Google, talking about AI being, could be more profound than electricity or fire, or Bill Gates talking about being as fundamental as the microchip and the internet. So, all of these things, electricity, fire, microchip, and internet, are all part of what this general purpose technology business is all about, and this coming wave that Mustafa Solomon talks about. So obviously, all of these fairly intelligent people who have been inventing all kinds of cool things that we love to use every day have been talking and talking, and all of this stuff has been happening, which obviously got my attention and had me really thinking about what all of this means. Then on November 30th, 2022, as we all know, OpenAI introduced ChatGPT. And really, that was a major, major point where the world really changed. And what ChatGPT really did was make artificial intelligence something that's become now suddenly accessible to each and every one of us. And so that was a really important point in time that really changed the conversation around AI from something that has been I would say something that has been talked about in concept and implemented by a lot of technology companies, to all of a sudden that's something that has become what I call democratized, or what several people call democratized, which really just means now accessible to all of us. And so that was a really important point in history, in time. I think we're all going to look back on November 30th as a point that really was a major inflection point in this whole AI space. And it really, I would say, was a pivotal point for me personally and for us at CIPR Communications around, okay, this thing's here now, this thing's real, what are we going to do about it? So the wave has arrived. Mustafa Solomon talks about his waves of general purpose technologies, and in his book, he talks about the fact that the wave is here. And so I read a lot and I listen to a lot of podcasts and smart people talking about AI, and really, when you think about the AI debate, sort of people generally fall in two categories, at least on two extremes. One is the AI accelerationists, and these are folks that are really advocating for really the rapid advancement of AI, in some cases at all costs. Not everybody that's an accelerationist believes at all costs. And then there are the AI doomers. And these are folks that are, raising the volume on existential threats and the big concerns that AI might have on all of us and our businesses and our futures, and a lot of good big questions that come up from those folks. And I really find myself somewhere in the middle of those. And so I call myself an AI pragmatist, which just means that I'm neither on the accelerationist side nor on the doomer side, but really I see this wave here. I see that it has arrived. And from a practical perspective and a pragmatic perspective, I ask myself, well, what are we going to do now? Right. And so that really is a little bit about where we are today. And my message to each and every single one of you on this webinar is that it's really time to get on that wave. This thing is here. It's not going away. There are people who wish it would go away and don't want to hear anything about it. But the reality is it's here. It's going to have an impact on every single one of us. And so, now what, right? And so that really was the genesis of the Tourism AI Network. All of this research and all of this reading and all of this, content that we've been coming across here at WSI or at CIPR Communications that we've been talking about. And we said, you know what? I think it would be really cool to build a network for the people in the tourism industry, really where we could talk about education, where we can think about and focus on collaboration, and we can build a community of people looking to figure out how to make AI work in their lives. So a little bit about the Tourism AI Network. Our vision is to be the leading authority on AI for the tourism industry and to build a global community of AI-first tourism professionals. So one of the things that I know Microsoft talks a lot about in some of their talking points is for every industry to become an AI-first industry. And that's going to happen with this wave of technology, and it's going to happen pretty quickly. It's happening pretty quickly now. And so the Tourism AI Network is here to help facilitate that, to help really bring people from the tourism industry to the forefront as experts in their own field, and to sort of bring experts around AI also to the forefront so that we can talk together about how we can really make tourism an AI first industry. Our mission is to drive the adoption and understanding of AI in the tourism industry by providing education, fostering collaboration, and building a community of thought leaders and practitioners. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory, so we'll leave that there. I always believe in having strong values and being a values first organization. So to that end, really the Tourism AI Network values include learning. And really, when I do presentations on artificial intelligence, I tell everybody that we are, whether you like it or not, in a world where lifelong learning is the only option. And I personally am a lifelong learner and believe strongly in lifelong learning and really believe that learning is an important journey, not a destination. And so really that's a primary value and a driving value for the Tourism AI Network. So, obviously I'm learning, we're all learning together. We can learn from each other. And that's really the goal of what we're trying to achieve here. Supporting, really dedicated to a nurturing environment where everybody feels supported and valued. So, we're going to be launching a LinkedIn group here shortly, places where people can collaborate and talk and share ideas and projects. And so, we're really here to support. If we, hear of somebody somewhere in the industry doing something and we can somehow bring somebody else together, that's really what we're here to do and to help support people as they go down their AI journey together. Partnership. I'm just a firm believer that nothing happens without strong partnership. And so obviously this whole AI journey is going to be one filled with partnerships all over the place. And so partnership is a really important core value to me personally and to the Tourism AI Network. I think we only achieve success and greatness together. And so partnership is very, very important to that. And finally, growth. You know, we all are going to be growing through this together. This is a journey we're all on, and a journey we're all going to learn through. And one thing I'll say about what my journey's been all about so far in artificial intelligence is the fact that this industry is really just emerging and just developing. And so, there are really very few true AI experts out there. And so we're all going to, I think, grow together by working together in partnership, supporting each other, and through a commitment to learning. So those are our values. That's what we're all about as an organization. Obviously, in support of some of those values, we at the Tourism AI Network have launched with a few partners and several advisors. So, it's really important for us to not be thinking about doing this alone, but doing it together. And so, to that end, obviously, CIPR Communications, as I mentioned, is the founding partner of the Tourism AI Network. So, just structurally, I guess for people's context, CIPR Communication created the Tourism AI Network. It's really just a brand of a sub brand of CIPR Communications that's going to be operating on its own. And so that's sort of just the structure of the organization. And we have some other partners, what we call our trailblazing partners. And these are really organizations that have been with us from the very beginning. In fact, before we even launched the Tourism AI Network. And so one of the founding partners is WSI. So for folks who have never heard of WSI, CIPR Communications is a WSI certified agency. WSI is a digital marketing agency network that's global and has been around for quite a few years now. WSI actually stands for We Simplify the Internet, and I like to tell the story about WSI specifically around the founder of WSI, one of the founders of WSI, Dan Monahan, who actually started the organization 2BG 2 years before Google. Because he saw this internet thing coming, and he saw the fact that there's going to be disruption, and he saw the need for an organization to come in and help small and medium-sized businesses to adapt to the changing technologies. And so that was really the genesis of WSI and why it was created to help organizations figure out that whole internet thing 2 years before Google came into our lives. And WSI has been really a driving force behind a lot of the work that we're doing here at the Tourism AI Network. The WSI has a AI leadership committee, which I'm an active member of. We've developed, WSI has developed a number of different services and templates and thought leadership pieces. And a lot of those pieces that WSI has been working on and bringing to the forefront are things that the Tourism AI Network is going to be providing for people that want to join us as well. So it's not just CIPR and me and my team. There's a whole global team of people. In fact, I think WSI has, I'm not sure exactly how many people, but they have a chief AI officer, a number of people that are working on nothing but trying to figure out this AI technology across all industries, and we're going to be really focusing on how to bring it and drive it home for the tourism sector specifically. Next Gen Wine Marketing, which is another WSI agency, friends of ours from the Napa Valley region, one of the top wine marketing companies in the Napa Valley region, and good friends of CIPR Communications and partners of CIPR Communications. We've been talking to them about partnering on a whole bunch of different initiatives, and AI was a natural next step in our evolution of our partnership. So Next Gen Wine Marketing is a major sort of founding trailblazing partner, and they're obviously we're a Canadian-based organization. Next Gen is in the U.S., so they're going to be driving a lot of initiatives, leading a lot of initiatives for the Tourism AI Network stateside for us. And then finally, a really important trailblazing partner as well is the Tourism Industry Association of British Columbia. So CIPR Communications has been working with TAIA BC for a number of years on a number of different things. And when we were developing this organization, we went to them and said, "Hey, we're developing this organization. Would you like to partner with us?" And they've been nothing but enthusiastic participants. So a couple of things we have been doing with them is number one, I've been collaborating a lot with Walt Judas, who's the president of that organization, getting his insights, getting his inputs. We currently have actually a survey to all British Columbia tourism operators and destination marketing organizations to understand how AI is being currently used in the BC tourism industry. I'm going to be speaking at the annual conference in March, talking about the survey results as well as a number of different things. So super important organization for us as we kick this thing off. A couple of what we call spotlight partners. So these are more brands that are helping us to sort of figure this whole AI thing out. So we've been working with both of these two brands over here for the last several months, and I'll show you how in a couple slides we've been working with them. But Tourism Kamloops, long-term partner and client of CIPR Communications. Again, I approached them and said, "Hey, you know what? We're going down this journey on the AI side. Would love for you to join us," and they were very enthusiastically willing to come to the table. And Eagle Nook Resort, which is an all-inclusive fishing resort in off the west coast of Canada, also has been very enthusiastically partnering with us on a couple of pilot projects, which I'll talk about shortly. So really important spotlight partners. Thank you to both Tourism Kamloops and to Eagle Nook Resort for your efforts and your work so far. We're hoping to come out with some case studies on some of the work we've been doing with them, just to give folks a better idea of how AI can help, really the DMO world and the tourism operator world specifically, to make your operations more efficient. We have a number of different advisors. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this slide because we're going to be announcing all of these folks soon, but suffice to say is that it has a cross-section of people from social media influencers to DMO leaders to tourism operators to some people that are very smart AI practitioners. So more to come on this in the coming weeks and months, but we're going to be making announcements on all of our advisors very shortly. So that brings me to what I call the 5 key steps for AI adoption, and really the framework that we use to build the Tourism AI network and some of the service offerings that we're coming out of the gate with. So number one, education and training. Every single organization is going to be new to artificial intelligence, so the importance of education and training is really front and center, and really the first thing everybody should be thinking about. Number two, creation of an AI committee or a council of some kind. So internally, obviously organizations need to be talking about and thinking about artificial intelligence and what it means for their businesses. And so one of my recommendations at every presentation I give is to create an AI committee or council. Number three, responsible AI use policies and principles. So again, as a starting point, as a foundational element for every organization, it's really incumbent upon all of us to think about what do we actually believe when it comes to AI as an organization? Who's allowed to do what? Who's not allowed to do what? What tools are we using? What use cases? Those types of things. So really the development of these AI use policies and principles is really a foundational step for every organization thinking about adopting artificial intelligence into their business. Step number 4 developing an AI business analysis. So really, this is a base case analysis. Where's your organization at? Where are there opportunities? How do different people in your organization believe AI might be able to impact? What threats do AI pose on your business, on your industry, those types of things? So really, this AI business analysis is a cornerstone process to really get a really deep level of understanding of where your business is at today in order to understand how to move forward as an organization. And then number five, moving forward as an organization. So once you've done these first four things, the next step is to build an AI roadmap and to understand how to measure that roadmap and to understand what AI tools might fit into your roadmap. So that's really step number five, a really critical step. So as I mentioned, I speak about these five steps for AI adoption at every presentation I give. And we've actually structured the Tourism AI Network around these five steps. So that's why I raised them today. So obviously, number one, education and training. So I have been busy and I have been out doing presentations on artificial intelligence to various different organizations. These are just my tourism-based organizations. I've also spoken to non-tourism industry associations and others. But November 30th, I was in Prince George, where I gave a presentation to a number of people around how AI could boost your tourism operation. I was in Kamloops actually on December 12th. So our one of our partners, and I gave basically a 4-hour workshop on how to make AI your unfair business advantage, which was I think a fairly well received workshop. And as I mentioned, March 6th, I'm going to be speaking at the BC Tourism Industry Conference. And I have a number of other actually speaking engagements already booked, which are some tourism related and some non-tourism engagements. So those are not on the website, but also important part of this discussion. We will be introducing a few different courses and webinars as well. So the first webinar we're going to be introducing shortly is the Introduction to AI in Tourism. And so this is exploring AI's transformative power for the tourism industry. And so this course really will have a whole bunch of different case studies and examples and showcase some things that different organizations are doing. And it'll be a really important foundational workshop, I think, for a lot of folks that are looking to think about how to implement AI into their operations. A longer, more, I guess, hands-on type course is a tourism AI workshop from AI fundamentals to business applications. So this will be a 3-part course with homework and assignments. And so really the purpose of this course is to get you actually using some AI, playing with the tools, understanding how they work, and then coming together, reviewing our experiences and learning together to get better. So those will be coming soon. We'll be making announcements about those in the coming weeks. Responsible AI use policies and principles. So as I mentioned, really, I always tell people it's really important as a starting point to figure out as an organization what your belief system is around artificial intelligence. And so really after you've done that, that's where the opportunity to figure out, determine some policies as an organization around how AI will be used. Interestingly, there's a lot of surveys coming out, or there were a lot of surveys coming out before the holidays. And in many cases, employees are using artificial intelligence technologies in their jobs. And in all cases, or in many cases, those employers don't necessarily even have AI use policies and principles. And so, I think that's a big risk to a lot of organizations. So I think this is something that organizations really need to be thinking about sooner rather than later. And this is something the Tourism AI Network is able to help. We have some tools to help you think through this process. And so on that note, we can share this link as a follow-up to this presentation, but this is an AI use policies or AI principles template that was developed by our partners at WSI. And it really allows you to get a starting point document around AI principles. And so, you basically put some information about your organization, about your business into a form. And it'll spit out the beginning of a template that you can use to further develop and have conversations in your organization around AI use. So it's a useful tool and it's free. This is just, I provided this here. This is an example of CIPR communications. We've developed AI use policies and principles. And so this is just some language that we have in there. We'll make these slides available to folks afterwards so you can take a look at that. It's also on the footer of the CIPR communications website. So if you want to take a more detailed look at our policies and principles, they're there for you. And importantly, I think part of your policies and principles development is how you use AI today. And so this just gives you a little bit of language on how we as an organization use it. I think it's really important to be transparent about this. And so that's something that, again, you can develop using that template that I provided or showed you earlier. Importantly, artificial intelligence business analysis. So this is what we call the AIBA. And so this is really another tool that was created by our partners at WSI. And it's designed to help organizations think through really where they're at today, a starting point for artificial intelligence, and gives you a bit of a baseline report. And then after you have that baseline report, then you're in a position to develop an AI implementation roadmap. So again, I sort of talked about the 5 key steps for AI implementation, and these tools follow the 5 key steps to help your organization move this conversation forward internally. So just very quickly, AIBA pilot projects. We did one with Tourism Kamloops. So I've taken Tourism Kamloops through the AIBA process. This is just part of the executive summary, but I think it's about a 40-page report on AI use cases and opportunities for their organization. And one of the use cases that actually came out of the AIBA with Tourism Kamloops was, imagine all of the DMOs out there that have to produce these annual performance reports to their different funding, to their different funders. Imagine there was a way to automate that process, to make it quicker, make it simpler, so that folks that work at DMOs can actually spend their time doing the things they like to do, which is help facilitate tourism in their regions and in their municipalities. So we're working right now on figuring out how to create an automated report for Tourism Kamloops, and then that is something that we will then be able to roll out to other DMOs in various different jurisdictions. Eagle Nook Resort. So again, we did the AIBA, and out of that conversation came, well, what if we could take our CRM and in their case, they have their whole fishing schedule on a spreadsheet. And what if we could marry the two things together using smart automations, and we can figure out a way to make the things talk better together? And so we are also in the process of starting that exploration to see if we can use artificial intelligence to help this tourism operator more intelligently automate their operations, so that they're spending less time transferring information from a CRM to a spreadsheet and back and forth, and have less errors and less mistakes, so they can spend more time fishing, which is ultimately what they're loving and what they're here to do. So those are just a couple examples. What I'll say is that if you're watching this presentation today, I think you're already ahead of your peers. So AI, as much as we're hearing about it a lot, I think adoption has been fairly slow amongst people from the people I talk to. But really, where AI is today is we're shifting from really this early adopters phase to this early majority phase. So right now we're in this shift. Right now the shift is happening. Right now everybody's taking a look at this AI thing and figuring out what to do. So your timing is perfect. And our work at the Tourism AI Network is really just getting started. As I showed you some of the things we've been piloting and working on, we're going to be rolling some of these things out over the next little while. We're going to be rolling out case studies. We're going to be rolling out webinars and seminars and courses. And I'm going to be out speaking to folks in the tourism industry, providing practical information on how to get started and some of the tools that we love to use at the Tourism AI Network. So all of that is to say is that we're in for the ride of our lives. The wave is here, and I invite you to ride this wave with us. So let's get on that wave and ride it together. Thank you very much. That's the presentation. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to put a question in the Q&A or in the chat, and our admins can or raise your hand, and we can allow you to speak as well. Okay, so seeing as there are no questions coming up, that is the end of our presentation. Again, today was just meant to be an introduction to the Tourism AI Network. If you want to get in touch with me, please just send me an email. Oh, I see a question coming up over here. What do I speak on? So the question came up, what do I speak on? So I have a number of different presentations to speak on. One of them is how to make AI your unfair business advantage. So that one really is a bit of a high-level introduction to AI, a little bit of a high-level introduction into some of the tools and some of the use cases that we use here at the Tourism AI Network. And and sort of giving people a really kind of good, useful, practical information on how to get started with AI. I also have a couple of other presentations that I've been giving around AI's impact on jobs. And I also speak on a whole bunch of other different things. For example, one of the things I'm very passionate about is how AI is going to impact search engine optimization, and Google and consumer behavior. So that's something I've been speaking a lot on as well. Um, Another question that came up is, did I use AI to generate the images? Looks great. What tool do I use? Yeah, so I did use AI to generate every single image on this presentation, as I always do. So I used a tool called Leonardo AI. So Leonardo.ai, fantastic tool for generating all kinds of images. And it's very, very inexpensive and or free, depending on how many images you create. So really strongly recommend Leonardo AI. And then what are the next steps for people to support the network and to get involved? Really, it's join the network. So go on the Tourism AI Network website and join. Get in touch with me if you're interested in having me come and be a speaker, or to come and speak to your group, or to have a workshop or a session with your team. And just stay tuned. We're going to be announcing a bunch of stuff. We also have a podcast coming out soon. So tune into our podcast, like, share, and subscribe our podcast. We're going to be talking to people specifically about AI in the tourism industry on that podcast. And so it's going to be, I think, and I hope, the only place where you're going to be able to get, really industry specific information on how to take the next steps when it comes to AI adoption. Perfect. So seeing as there are no more okay. I got another question, which is, what is my favorite AI tool right now? So I'm extremely, I love ChatGPT. I gotta say, I've loved ChatGPT from as soon as it came out, and I think it's a great tool. And in my actually AI presentation that I give, there are I show many use cases of ChatGPT that are beyond just sort of typing into your app, and it's a really fun tool. I use it for anything from ideation to content development, to editing, to summarizing, you name it, I use it. It's fantastic. Excellent. Well, thank you everybody for your questions, and thank you for your participation. And please do stay tuned. We will be sharing information. We'll share this slide deck and this recording, and we will be launching a whole bunch of things and issuing press releases and all kinds of things very shortly. So thanks again. Take care. Stay warm.